Hey, the market is shifting, and guess what? I think it's great news for the San Diego housing market. I'm J.R. St. Julien with the St. Julien Real Estate Group of EXP Realty, and this is my July 2022 San Diego housing market update. We're going to get into some good numbers and stats today, and I'm going to tell you why I think the current market shift is positive for our housing market. So let's get into some stats. So in the month of June, it's the first month that we saw the median home price come in at a slightly lower number than the prior month. So in the month of June, the median home price came in at $860,000 in San Diego County. In the 2 months prior, that median home price was steady at $875,000. And then back in March, that price was $850,000. And back in February, that median home price was $800,000. So you can see we were trending up fairly aggressively at the beginning of the year, leveled out in April and May, and then took a slight dip in June. And that's all about the drop in demand that we've seen substantially in the last couple months. And so we're going to get into a few more stats that kind of demonstrates that we're definitely seeing a drop in demand, and then also demonstrate what we're seeing in response to that drop in demand on the supply side. So when we're looking at demand, some of the big things that we want to look at are, hey, how many homes do we have for sale? What are the pending sale numbers looking like? And what are the closed sale numbers looking like? So pretty much all year, the new listings that were coming on market each month were less than the number of new listings that we had come on market in the same month in the prior year. So in June of 2022, new listings are down 12.1% year over year. Now that number by itself doesn't really mean a ton. What you have to do is you have to look at that number along with the pending sales and the closed sales. Because in the beginning of the year, when that median home price was on a steep incline, the new listings were coming in at around, down 18%, but the pending home sales and closing sales were down less than that number. So basically we were still closing more than what we were bringing on to market. And then in April, we saw those numbers even out. And then in May, we saw the number of pending and closed sales maybe drop slightly, just a tad bit. It was close to being even, but it just dropped slightly to where the number of pending and closings were slightly less than the number of new listings that we were bringing on to the market. And in June, we saw a drastic drop of the number of pending and closings, where now the pending sales were down 38% and the closed sales were down 36% in comparison to the new listings that were only down 12.1%. So that's a drastic decrease. That's basically about a threefold. Basically, we're closing only a third in a month of the new listings that are coming onto market. So obviously, if you're not closing all the homes that are coming onto market, or you don't have an equal number of closings and new listings, you're going to start to see the inventory rise. And that's what we're starting to see right now. So the months of inventory, which is how we measure the inventory on the market. And basically what that means is if we bring no new inventory to the market in that much time, we'll be out of inventory. And right now, the months of inventory are sitting at 1.5 months. And that's up from 1.1 month in the month of May and 0.8 months in the month of April. So you can see that number has been climbing, which is in direct correlation to the differential that we're starting to see now between the new listings coming on market and the number of closed and pending sales that we have. Now, the new listings that are coming on market are still less than what we saw last year. So we still have a supply problem. But now, because of the demand drastically dropping, especially in the month of June, we're not absorbing the listings that are coming on. So buyers are going to have more to pick from. Sellers, when their home doesn't sell in the first 2 weeks to a month, they're going to start dropping the home prices. So now we have a little bit of pricing pressure being placed on the market, and buyers have the opportunity to actually shop around and go after the home that they really, really want. And they actually have an opportunity to negotiate and not have to try to compete against 20 other buyers at the same time for that particular home. In my opinion, this is a great thing that's happening right now, because what we've seen for the last 2 years was completely unsustainable, and a lot of buyers couldn't even compete to purchase in that market because they had to do things that many buyers couldn't do in order to win the deal. Well, now I can take my regular VA buyer, maybe my FHA buyer that's only putting 3.5% down. All people can compete in today's market. We don't have to waive appraisals. We don't have to waive inspections. We are back in a more normalized market. Now, that being said, it is still a seller's market because 1.5 months of inventory is still a low number of inventory. But as you can see, we're trending upward. And as you can see, there's some pressure on the prices right now. So what does that mean if you're thinking about buying a home? I think that means that there's great opportunity right now. It seems like the interest rates have pretty much found a little bit of stability in that 5% range, but there are a lot of adjustable rate mortgages that are starting to pop up in the lending space that we haven't seen in a while that can potentially put you in a home at a substantially lower rate. VA buyers, you have opportunity here. If you're getting 100% financing, that wouldn't have flown. I couldn't put you in a house 6 months ago. Now I can. I just put 2 VA buyers in homes in the last 2 weeks. All buyers are now in a position where they can compete as long as they can qualify for the mortgage and pay the bill in this market, which is good. We can actually negotiate as agents for our clients, which is something that I really enjoy doing. And it's not really something that we were able to do in the last 2 years. It was more about figure out what needs to be done in order to get the deal accepted, but it wasn't really about negotiating, the buyer wants this, the buyer wants that. The buyer didn't have a choice on what they wanted. They had to give the seller everything they wanted in the last 2 years. Now, we're back to it being a little bit more normalized. So if you're thinking about buying a home, don't be scared about all the headlines that you're hearing. Real estate is a long-term hold that has always did well for people that owned it. So we may see a little bit of pricing pressure in the next few months, but I believe as the interest rates stabilize and people adjust to new rates and more creative lending solutions, different types of ARM products come out with lower rates, some of the demand will start to trickle back into the market. I do think the demand is going to come back, and we'll be back in an appreciating market within no time whatsoever. But that being said, if we're flat or we're dipping for a while, I think that's healthy because the percentage of appreciation that we've seen in the last couple of years has been truly unsustainable. On the flip side, if you're thinking about selling a home, what does that mean? Did you miss the bus? Well, you missed the opportunity where you could demand everything, be completely unreasonable, and get everything you wanted when you sell your home. I'm okay with that, and you should be too, because it's still a great market to sell in. You just have to be reasonable. You have to make sure your home is well presented, and you have to make sure you're working with somebody that knows the market and knows what they're doing. Pricing is important, presentation is important, and reasonable expectations are important. So hopefully that information was helpful for you to understand what's going on in today's market. The market is shifting, but like I said, I do believe that's a great thing for San Diego's real estate market. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, or you know someone that is, please reach out to me. I would love to help you out. Would love to talk to you more about your specific situation and give you a little bit more insight on how we can net you the most possible money on the sale of the home, or help you find that dream home in the perfect location if you're thinking about buying a home. I'm J.R. St. Julien with the St. Julien Real Estate Group of EXP Realty. I really appreciate you watching my video and taking the time to give me some of your attention and love. If you liked what you saw, please click the thumbs up on the video or click the subscribe button. All of that is very helpful for me. It helps me get my information out to more folks. So thanks again for watching. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions or have any real estate needs that I can serve. Take care.